Right then, so today's all about content creation, how to plan, create and schedule and not get stressed, because I know so many people get stressed about what they need to post and when to do it and how to do it, and they just don't know what to do, so they end up doing not a lot really. So this is why we're covering this topic today. Okay, so what we're going to cover is how to create the strategy for the Facebook and the Instagram, how you can plan it 30 days in advance, and then how to create and schedule it. So pen and paper. So content creation is the process of generating topic ideas that appeal to your buyers. So it's all about your customers, your niche. It's all about that customer avatar, that everything that you put on your social media is about them and what they want to know. So it's all about creating written and visual content around those topics and ideas that your customer wants to know more about. So it could be articles on LinkedIn, it could be blogs, videos, Facebook Lives, infographics, things you put inside a Facebook group if you've got your own Facebook group, wherever you put your content. So today we're concentrating, like I said, on Facebook and Instagram, but you can use these same strategies and just put them on different platforms quite easily. Okay, so why do you need to do it? Some people think, well, I don't really need to do it. I've got enough customers coming in already. I'm too busy with my business to worry about that. Now, you need to create content because it is your inbound marketing, and it is so important in these digital times. When you're creating content, you're providing free, useful information for your audience. Okay, so you're attracting your potential customers. You're attracting them either to your website, to a landing page, to a freebie that you've got. You're taking them to a blog post, offers in your Facebook group, but then you're also retaining existing customers through your engagement as well. It's not all just about getting new customers. It's about getting the customers that you already have engaged in what you have to offer at the same time, because it's always easier to convert customers that you've already got, even if they've only spent £1 with you. Easier to convert them than somebody who's never spent with you ever. Okay, so creating your content, another reason for doing it is social proof. Now, just think when you're looking for something, maybe you're looking for a gardener or a plumber. What most people do, what do? They hop onto Google or they ask Alexa. They do a little search, they find a few companies, and then what they do is, well, it's what I do, hop over onto Facebook and look them up on their business page, see what they've been doing. Now, if there was 2 companies I found on Google, I went over to Facebook, checked them out. One of them, he hasn't updated his Facebook page in over 2 years, and he's got some old reviews. Then I go look at the other one. Now, he's got lots of posts showing different houses he's worked on, photos of his team, lots of photos of work that they've done, and they've also got some up-to-date reviews on there. Which business would you go and ring first? Obviously, it's the second one, isn't it? It's a no-brainer. You're gonna go to the one who's updated their page. So this is why it's so important, because people will go and check you out before they contact you. Even though Facebook's business reach is absolutely shocking, you'll see when you post things up and your engagement will say, oh, 3 people have seen it, or maybe 10 people have seen it. It's appalling. But this is why you still have to post on Facebook, because people will go and look you up. So unless you either boost your posts or create engagement posts on Facebook, that's the only way to get people to see your posts. But you need to keep in mind that people will go to your page and look you up. So that's why you need to keep it up to date. Okay, these are some stats I took from HubSpot, because we can't argue with the stats, and it shows how important content marketing is for small businesses. As you can see, 3 times as many leads as traditional marketing, and it costs 62% less. It's free. It's free to do your social media posts. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just your time. And the way I'm going to show you how to do it, it's going to reduce that time by a lot. Okay, so I won't go through all the stats, but they're there for you to have a look. Okay, so strategy. So pen and paper at the ready. Hi, Jane.
Morning.
Are you all right?
Yeah, fine. Sorry I was late.
That's okay. Have you got a pen and paper?
Got a pen and paper.
Awesome. Okay, so when we do the content strategy, I came across this strategy and I think it's really simple and it's easy to use and you can fit it into a busy schedule. There are lots and lots of different social media strategies out there. Lots of people do different things, but I came across this one. I like it. So this is the one that we're going to go through today. So the way it starts is you start with content buckets. That's where we have 4 buckets on the screen. So if you take your pen and paper and draw a line down the middle, or if you've got 4 pieces of paper, have 4 pieces of paper. If you haven't, 1 piece, draw a line down the middle, and again, so you've got 4 boxes. Okay. Now, the way we need to give our buckets some contents now. So the way we do this is by thinking of 4 things that are associated with your business and you. So you need to think about this for a minute. I'll give you my example first and then you can do it. So for my example, for my business, not Kevin, but my business is all about, it's all about digital marketing. It's all about funnels. So content number 1 bucket for me would be funnels. Then content bucket number 2 would be all the different tech and automation which goes with funnels. Then content bucket number 3 would be all about the chatbots because I just love chatbots. So number 3 would be chatbots. And then number 4 is like the personal bucket. So this bucket's all about me, but a specific topic about me. So mine is business books because I just really like reading and I like business books. Yours might be you like cooking or you like photography, something that's doesn't have to be related to your business whatsoever, but I just love reading business books. So that 4th bucket is all about you, so people can get a glimpse of you, that 4th bucket. So I want you to have a think. Let's take a few minutes and write down on your 4 pieces of paper or on your box what your 4 topics. Now, I'm not going to say you got to keep these set in stone, but for the exercise today, you can always change these at a later date if you think of something better. But so for today, think of what your 4 content buckets could be. Have you got some ideas, Jan?
Yeah, I've kind of gone, mine is very much a personalised service. So the first bucket will be, my clinical staff, my personal blends, all the things that I can do for you, that I can develop for you personally. The second one, I've kind of gone down product, social media, website. Third one is my pamper side of it. And the 4th one about me, I don't know. I think it's how busy I am with everything and how I manage to sort of work it all together with the little one.
Your second bucket.
Yeah.
What's your second bucket? Go through that one again.
I said it was my products, my social media, my website. So it's very much the starting to look at funneling and that sort of thing.
Right, you've got these buckets now are thinking about your customer,
right, and
what they want to know about you as a business. So you need to think about the different things. So one could be the benefits of what you offer and the different types of offerings. You've got to think about people's questions about the different things that you offer. So it's all about your customer. It's all about your niche. It's all about who you're attracting. What do they want to know, and what topics they fall into. Do you get what I mean? Apart from the 4th bucket, that's not related to anything they want to know. You're just sharing a little snippet of your life.
Yeah. Right. So number 1 will be benefits then. That's fine. Number 2, what to know.
What about you, Jane?
Well, I looked at it and put one for the personal stuff, one for the photography genres we do, another one for studio or location work, and the fourth one for product. But I'm not sure whether I've got the right idea or not there.
Okay, so what are the most questions that people want to know around what are they?
It's cost.
Yeah, cost.
Okay, apart from cost.
Cost is a big one. They want to know what genres we do. They want to know whether we're studio or location based. And very often they haven't even thought about alternative products. They only think as far as the digital files. The product is the one that I'm trying to push as the heirloom type reason for photography.
So you could have one your different types of products, the people that you're attracting, have you got different niches, or are they all? Because you could have a bucket for each niche if you have different types. I know you do.
I have.
You do the children's, you were doing with the unicorns and things.
Yeah, but our main 3 genres are dogs, horses and dancers. But then within that, because of COVID-19 and having to do everything so locally, we're starting to push it and start moving more into the local child photography. So we're doing fairies, which ties in with the unicorn theme. There's so many genres. I don't think we can split it into separate buckets, really.
All right, so you're going to keep one for genres then?
Yeah.
What else did you say?
Studio or location, because we work mainly in the studio when we can.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to push a bit more of the location work out now, particularly for the horses, because every now and again we get closed down for the studio, but we could still meet people outside.
Right, okay. Okay, and what was the third one?
The third one is for the products that we sell, like the wall art or the memory boxes or the desk products, the things that I want people to buy and keep rather than having a photo on their phone that they share to friends.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, are you okay with this now, Jan? What have you got?
Well, I've got benefits, and I've kind of got a subcategory of need there. So how am I meeting their need? What can we offer them? Why we're different? GPs is a big one for us, will be for me, because eventually I'm hoping to get some referrals as well. And then, as I said, just the all about me then will just be, I will find something, perhaps I can talk about my teaching or something.
Right, so what actual services do you offer? And I don't know everything that you do.
Business. We have the clinical aromatherapy, which is the one where you'll come to me with your bad back or your bad shoulder, and I will give you something to help you with your back, your shoulder, or I'll massage it out, or I'll put a cold compress on it, or
okay.
A mental health referral or whatever from the GP. There's the product side of it where the people are buying diffuser blends, wax melts, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's also the pamper side of it where they'll just come for a really relaxing massage, or they will, just want a nice oil to put on and put in their bath and that sort of thing. So that's,
right, so they're your 3 buckets you've got there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're your 3 buckets. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so how much, once you've got your buckets, the next stage is that we need to fill them up with some content. So each week, so one bucket, if we think of the bucket as 100%, 80% of that one bucket are how-to posts. So we'll go a bit deeper into this in a minute. So 10% of your posts are around quotes, testimonials, inspirations, or stories. It might be stories about clients, or it might be stories you've seen in the press. It might be anything related, a story. And then 10% is breaking limiting beliefs. So that's setting you apart from other people thinking about what in people's heads and breaking that. They think, oh, I can't do that, or that's too much, or I'm too young. You need to break that belief. So that's how we divide the content of that one bucket, or what we're going to post, into different types of posts. It might come a little bit clearer when we get a bit further on. We'll come back to that. Okay. So if you wrote that down, yeah. Okay, and what we then do is we have a brain dump. So what we do is, for each of the 4 buckets, well, we'll concentrate on the 3, because the 4th bucket you do as and when you go along. So concentrate on the first 3 buckets that we've got the titles for. And what you do is you have a big brain dump about every single thing you know that people want to know surrounding that topic. So all the questions that you get asked, you must get asked quite a lot of the same questions all the time. Anything and everything that you can think of surrounding that topic that you've put for the top of that page. So, and we want to have at least 10 for each bucket, at least, to start with. But once you start going, you just can't stop filling it up with stuff. Your bucket just is brimming with all this stuff, because you've got all this stuff in your head you've never really thought about before. But once you start writing it all down, you can't stop writing. Well, I can't. You just can't. It just keeps coming and coming and coming, doesn't it? Because you think, oh yeah, and that, oh, and that, yeah, and you keep going and going. So you want to do a brain dump for each of those topics. So have you got a few? Have you thought of a couple that you can put in bucket number 1? What do people ask? What do they want to know? And we're concentrating on the how-tos. We're concentrating on that 80% when we're around these. They're all questions, really, what people ask. Questions that go around people's heads. Sometimes they're even questions that they don't even ask out loud, but anything associated with what you do, with that topic for that bucket. So I'll give you a couple of examples from my bucket. So my bucket number 1 was funnels. So when I did a brain dump, I came up with, what is a funnel? What is funnel hacking? What's a landing page? How do I create a landing page? What's the difference between a funnel and a website? How much does a funnel cost? And I've got loads, because there's so many questions that people have got about funnels. So you need to just think of all the questions that you've got. Have you got some written down? Yeah. Do you want to tell us a few, Jan?
Right. So what services do I offer? I'm thinking now about the specifically the pamper side of it. So what services do I offer, and where am I? What does it involve? Because some people don't realise how relaxing a foot massage can be, for example. What's the difference between aromatherapy and Swedish massage, and which is better? Which one do you recommend? And how can I pay you is often one. Do I have to pre-book in advance? What are your opening hours? And all these sort of questions I get.
Okay, awesome. Jane?
What to expect, how to prepare, how long sessions last, how much they cost, what it includes, where the studio is. Yeah, and then a lot of the questions are similar to Jan's.
Okay. Okay, so once we've filled up the bucket, the next step, you do that. So you do that for all your buckets. You have a good brain dump for each bucket. So each bucket will have its own list of things. Now, if you like pen and paper, then you can do it on pen and paper. If you do it on pen and paper, then you want to transfer it into a spreadsheet or put it into like a project management tool. I use Trello, which is really good for keeping, it's like I don't know if you've ever used Trello, but it's like post-it notes and you can move them along. If we have enough time, I'll show you Trello at the end. But make sure you've got them on your computer after you've written them all down, because paper gets lost, and it's easier then when you start creating just to copy and paste from your list. Okay, once we've filled our 4 buckets, so we've got the 3, all the business, the 4th one is your personal one. You don't have to worry about filling that up completely, but you've got your topic. It is a topic that you use. You could rotate that topic, but you want to keep that one topic for at least a month. So it's easier for you. And what you do is you rotate your buckets. So bucket number 1, you would use on week 1. Bucket number 2, you would use on week 2. Bucket number 3, you would use on week 3. Then you would go back to bucket 1, because bucket number 4 is intermingled with the other 3. It's not one topic that you use for a week. So how this works is, am I confusing you, or are you still with me?
No, it's okay.
Good.
I'm just writing it down.
Before we go into rotating the buckets, we need to also think about where we want to send people. What have you got created already, places where you can send people? So you need to take another sheet of paper and list, sorry, my dog is snoring in the background if you can hear her. Take another sheet of paper and list everything that you have currently where you can send people. So have you done any Facebook Lives that are like maybe pinned to your top of your page? Have you got a YouTube channel that you can send people to watch videos? Do you have a podcast? Have you written any blogs? Have you written any articles on LinkedIn, or have you got any articles on your website? Have you got a landing page with a freebie download? Have you got a promotional page on your website where you want to send people? Have you got a Facebook group that you want to send people? If you've got a Facebook group, it's the best place to start engaging with your prospects, because you can access them all the time, not like a Facebook page where you can't. Get people into a group and you can nurture them a lot more and a lot easier. So list everything that you've got. Now, if you haven't got anything at the moment, don't worry. You'll have to start working on creating something. You could just easily start just doing some Facebook Lives or posting some things on your Facebook page that you can send articles, sending people to. But you need to send them somewhere. And it's not all about selling something. You're not just sending them to say, book here, buy this. It's about nurturing them. That's the whole point of this. It's a nurture. It's like you don't ask somebody to marry you on the first date. You got to nurture them first. So we want to send them somewhere. Okay, so then what we did, so we got the bucket number 1. We wrote down at least 10 things to go in that bucket. When you do this on your own, when you've got some time, to start with, to fill up all these buckets, this is going to take the time. But once all your buckets are filled and you've got all these things inside all these buckets, it is going to be a super breeze to get this done all the time. So you take one of those topics out of your bucket. So I don't know, take the first one that you wrote on your list. So my one was, what is a funnel? That then you would write down more questions related to that one topic that you put in that bucket. So if one of your, say your bucket was, see, that's why you can't, the things that you put in your bucket can't just be what's the price, because that's related to the one topic that you're going to pull out. So say your bucket was the genres, Jane.
Yeah.
Then inside that you would have all the different genres.
Yeah.
And different things associated with that. You take one out, so you might take fairies out, for example. For 1 week, all you're going to talk about is fairies. So all the questions associated with fairies, they are going to be your posts for the week. So it might be, what age can I be for fairies? So you would do a post around age for fairies. Do you provide costumes? So a post would be about costumes. So you're taking that one piece out of the bucket. So there's 3 stages to the bucket. You've got the bucket with the big title. You've got the contents inside the bucket. And then you're taking one of those contents out and turning that one thing into a week's worth of posts. And it's 80%. So you want at least 5 things for that one post, because if we're going to post, say, once a day to start with, you want to do 1 post a day. You want 5 things for your 80%. So if I had, so mine was funnel. What is a funnel? So I would have sales funnel vs a sales pipeline. What's the difference? Different types of funnels. Which funnel do I need? How do I make a funnel? So I've got 5 things all about what is a funnel. Are you with me? Mm. Yeah. So you've got 5 things. They are your 5 posts that you're posting that week. So you list those 5 posts down, all from that one topic. And that is 80%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you need to look back at your traffic that you looked at. Your traffic is where you're going to send your people. So we had a look at where we could send people, because it's not all about sales, it's about them learning more information. So you need to match that one thing that you took out of your bucket. Where can you send people from that one topic? What have you got related to that topic? So if it was about fairies, have you got a page all about fairies? Or have you got any videos about fairies? Or you might have a catalogue of images somewhere all about fairies. So you can send people to that. So it has to match that. You've got to match them up together. So once you've written all this out, then you can, if you do it on a piece of paper, then you can just match them up to where they're going. Or if you've got a whiteboard, or sticky notes is good, because you can just move them around and match them up where they're going. So you've got your big list of what you've got where you can send people. Then you've just created 5 posts, and then you want to point where they're going. Where are people going? So you've always got to send somebody somewhere on this 80% so they can find out more. So on your 80%, so those 5 posts, you need to have a call to action. So that call to action is telling somebody where they need to go. So to find out more, go here, click this. You need to be specific. You have to tell people to click the button or click the link. You have to tell them what to do, because they just won't do it otherwise. You have to be really, really specific on what you want to do. The other 20% of posts, we don't necessarily need to have call to actions on, because they're not related to actually sending them something. You're just giving them a quote or a story or a testimonial, or you're breaking a limiting belief. You don't want every single post to have a call to action. Click here, this, click here now. So keep 80% with your call to action. Your other 20%, you don't need to have call to action. If you want to, if it was a story that you found somewhere else, you could say, oh, this is the link to go read more about this story if you wanted to, and tell them where you found it. That doesn't matter. If you've ever done Google Alerts, have you ever done Google Alerts? Because you can put in things related to your business, and Google will tell you all the news that day about those topics. So you can find some good stories that are relatable in the news, and then you can go use that as one of your 10%. Oh, I found this story, and that's what it is. So it's a good way of finding out stories relatable to your business if you use Google Alerts, if you're struggling on finding stories or anything. You don't want to make your posts all around sales, okay? So that they're information and they're sending people to find out more, as we discussed earlier. Now, obviously, if you have a promotion or a sale on a specific week, that would be your one topic that you took out of the bucket, would be all about sales and promotion. So you that week you can sell, but you don't want to make all your posts buy now, buy now, buy now. Obviously, when it's a promotion, 80%, stick to your 80% will be about your promotion or your sale, still mixed in with the other 20% of your non-promotions. Okay, so for 1 week, we've got 5 posts of content ready to go, and we know where we're going to send the people to find out more with your call to action. That is 1 week. So you would then, for week 2, you would get bucket number 2, pick one thing out and do exactly the same. Pick one topic out, write five things associated with that one thing that you took out. Then you've got week 2's set up. Then week 3, you get bucket number 3 and you do the same. So every 3 weeks, you're rotating your content out of a different bucket, but you're sticking to that one topic for that 1 week. That makes it really simple for you. If you do any Facebook Lives or anything like that if you have a group or on your page, and you've got a specific topic you're talking about, or you're struggling for a topic to talk about, then use that one content piece that you took out your bucket as your topic for your Facebook Live. And then when your call to action, if you haven't got anywhere to send anybody, your call to action is, I'm doing a Facebook Live next week on such and such a day, all about this topic. Come and have a watch. That's your call to action, telling them. So everything that 80% of that week would all be about coming to my Facebook Live. Or if you've got a group, it would all be about coming to my Facebook group. Now, if you've looked at Kevin posts, I do the social media for Kevin. It's everything for the last week has all been relatable about today's event. Everything that I've been posting is about this event. And then for the next week, everything that'll be posted will be about next week's event. And then if we haven't got an event, everything that's created is either around a resource that we have on the website, or it's sprinkled in with some quotes and inspirational stories. I don't do any breaking limiting beliefs with Kevin, because we're not attracting new customers. We've got the members now, so it's just about interacting with those and showing you what's coming up. So that's how you work that out. So if you wanted to schedule it 30 days in advance, you'd go week 1, week 2, week 3, go back to week 1. There's your month done. I like to do it week by week, but if you've done it for the month, you are ready to rock and roll, and you don't have to stress and worry about it. And you've planned yourself a whole month in advance. If you're doing Facebook Lives, you know what you're doing, you know when. If you've got promotions, you know what's coming out when, and it's a really good strategy to get into doing it month by month. With the other two, the 10%, you've got one post would be your quotes, your testimonials, and your stories, and one would be your limiting beliefs. So that's your 7 posts. And then you've got bucket number 4. So what I like to do is just sprinkle in a little bit of bucket number 4 here and there. So you might have 2 posts on one day. You might just do one extra post a week with sprinkling of bucket number 4. You might be 2. It depends what you're doing and what you've got to share about that personal bucket that you've got. You might only put one every 2 weeks. So what I do is I like to share what book I'm reading at the moment, because I like reading. I might take a selfie with the book. I might post a snippet out of a book or a quote that I'm reading that really resonated with me that I think people would be really interested in. I might share what I'm reading next month. I might give an overview of the highlights of a book. But I only do it once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. I might even do it once a month. But it's just a little sprinkling that you add in on top of the others. And that's how you use bucket number 4. Okay, so Trello, I'll show you. Ooh. No, we don't want to go to design yet. I'll show you Trello. Have you ever looked at Trello? Did I show you Trello before, Jane?
Never heard of it.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't then. Right. Trello is, you can see this purple screen now, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, Trello is free. It's a free Trello.com. It's free. They do have a paid version, but the free one is perfectly fine. So what you do is you can have, if you see it on the top, I've got ideas. So this is the content creation example. So you've got ideas, content to create, ready to be posted. This one's call to actions and links, and this one is checklists. So how it works is, so you have like these little cards that you can just click on and you can just move them wherever you want to put them. So it's like having a post-it note. If you think of these as pin boards, so each column is a pin board, and then on your pin board you've got post-it notes that are pinned on, and then when you want to move one post-it note to another pin board, you just pick it up and move it. So these are called cards. And what you can do, so your content buckets, you would put in here your 4 content buckets, and I've got a reminder underneath about the percentages for each different thing. And you can have checklists. So what you do is you create a checklist, call it your checklist, and then you can add an item. So you would have each one, for each content bucket, you can have a different card. In here, I've got, I did my brain dump inside of here, but I've got another card for brain dump. And what you do is you could just type in everything that you've got, that you've thought of. This is another way of your 4 buckets. If you just list every single thing you know about everything, and then you can divide it up and go, right, that one goes in that bucket, that one goes in that bucket, that one goes in that bucket, that one goes in that bucket. So what you do is you can just list everything, say email automation examples. If you click on here, you can convert that to a card, and what that does is at the bottom of here, it's made it a card now that I can move around. So I've got this here. I would then add my checklist. So email automation is the one topic we took out of the bucket. We want to come up with 5 things to talk about all around email automation. So you would list those out that you came up with. Ooh. They would be your 5 things. Then you would, you've got, you want a quote or a story, say, and then you want your breaking belief. All around that one thing we took out of the bucket. So that came out of, say, bucket number 1. These are the items. So we've got 7 things here. At the bottom, if you say you were working with somebody else, so you might have a VA that helps you, or you might have somebody who creates things for you, you can add them on here, and you can tell them what you want to do in here and save it. I can't type. And you can tag people, so if they were on your account, and then anything related to this, you could just type it on there for other people. At the moment, if it's just you don't need to do that, but you can write in notes about anything that you want to do. What you could write your ideas, what you're going to do, anything you want related to this week, it would all be in here. And then when you've written them all out, then you've got content to create. So it's there. Once you've created your content, you can move it over to ready to be posted. And then when you've scheduled them, which we'll go through in a minute, you would move it over to posted. The reason for this is you can rotate your content. So maybe in 3 months' time, you can come back to this because people won't remember. They don't scroll. The odd one person might scroll through your feed to go back 3 months, but majority of people will not go that far back to look at what you've done. You can come back to this posted list and you've already got it done. You could just go back to this and reuse it. You might want to change it slightly, you might want to put a different picture on it, but the actual contents of what you created, you can just go back and use it again, but you've already got it. So you will end up on this posted with everything. You could put a date that you posted it on. You also have labels. So like you could say that this one's getting posted on Instagram, on Facebook, or you might say, I want to put this on, it might be a blog that you're putting it on. You could put where they're going. Just so you know where it was posted. So when you come back and look, you've got it all there. So it's an easy way to keep track of everything. Once you start the spreadsheet, it might be fine at the beginning, but as you're going on, you tend to get in a bit of a mess with the spreadsheet, and it just gets a bit overwhelming. So this is a good way of doing it, and you can date these then. So you can put a date on. You can put due dates on things as well. And then it's really good when you've got everything in the post and you think, yeah, I'm on top of it. This is great. It's just like having a checklist. I love ticking things off checklists. It's so satisfying. So that is how you use Trello. If you want this board, I can share this board with you, and then you just import it into your account and you can just delete everything off it.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And Trello has lots of ready-made boards for lots of different things, so you can use Trello for all sorts of things. It is really good, and they have all these templates already in there. So that is Trello. So let's go back to here. So next will be actually creating your designs. I like Canva, as I've said before many occasions. If you've got your own photos, use those. If you haven't got many photos, you can use some stock photos. I always like to scroll through the stock photos, quite a few scrolls, so you get to the ones that people don't usually use as much. When you're posting for the week, I like to try and keep the week's posts all on a similar style of design, so they're all sort of matching. It's all around that one topic and they all match. I know you can see on Instagram lots. It's not, I think people are trying to get away from it now. When you see these really nice, pretty patterns of design on Instagram, you know, you see them, they have one here and then they have two there, and it all matches and it all looks beautiful. That's lovely. But you don't have to worry about that. I wouldn't worry about that. If you want to do that, that's fine. You could intermingle a quote with your two images. You could do some images which are just plain images with the text in the comments. You could do images with some text over the image, but try and make them all sort of match. You might want to put your logo on the image as well. If you're creating any of them into engagement ads, you don't want to put your logo on the image. You want to keep the text on the image as little as possible, because they don't like logos on images. But if it's just on Instagram and Facebook, it's just for social media, you don't need to worry about that. They give you in Canva the sizes. You can just use the same size posts for Facebook and Instagram. Once you've created your 5-7 posts, in Canva, what you can do is you can click resize. I don't know if you can do this on the free account, but I got the pro account, which is only $10 a month. You can click and resize and copy everything. So then you can turn it into stories as well. So everything you've just created, instead of starting from scratch, making some stories up, you can just use the same posts that you've just created for the week and turn them into stories just by a click of a button. You will have to move them around slightly just to make sure they fit the page, because obviously they've gone from square to oblong, but it'll save you loads of time instead of starting some stories from scratch. Another thing you need to think about is your hashtags. You want to be using hashtags in Facebook and Instagram. A lot of people don't use them in Facebook, but you need to use them in Facebook, especially if you're posting videos. If you've got a video that you're putting up, make sure you've got hashtags. Hashtagscraper.com is a free tool, which is really awesome. You just type in your word that you want it to be around. So I don't know, aromatherapy, say. It will bring you up every single hashtag about aromatherapy that's been used on Twitter and Instagram, and it will show you how many people have used that hashtag. So if you think, oh yeah, this is a really cool hashtag, I just want to test it, and you do it and it's got one person's used it, I wouldn't bother using it, because obviously nobody searches that hashtag. You don't want to go for the hashtags that have got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of uses, because there's so many people using that hashtag, you're never going to get found. But you want to look for in the middle hashtags. You can use up to 30 hashtags on Instagram. And you want to be using, you might have your own that you use, that's fine. Intermingle them with other ones that are used around your topic. What would people search for around you? Everything surrounding that one topic for the week. And save your hashtags. So maybe have a spreadsheet where you can save a block of hashtags. So if you're using Trello, then one of those cards for that week would be your hashtag card, and you would put all your hashtags in it, because it's such a pain when you've got to my phone was buzzing. It's such a pain when you've got to keep typing hashtags in. So if you save them as a block, you can just copy and paste them in. It's so much quicker and easier, because you're going to use similar hashtags every day. You don't want to use exactly the same hashtags every single day. You want to make them different. Some people say put for Instagram now, some people say put them in the post. Some people say put them in the first comment. I did a little bit of research last week on it all depends how big a page and how many followers you got. Unless you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, I would put them in the post, not the comments, because I did some searching, some testing, and I searched hashtags when people have put them in the comment. Their posts did not come up when I searched. I searched hashtags that they had in the post, and their posts came up when I searched the hashtag. So you need to think of what people would be searching to find you, because you save those people save those hashtags and they see posts all relating to those hashtags. And that's how people will find you. Instagram is a really good way of people finding you through hashtags. So they are really important. Schedule. So we've planned out either for a week or we've planned out for the whole month. You need to schedule it all in. You don't want to be posting every day. You want to get it all scheduled in. So you can do that direct on Facebook. You can do it for Instagram and Facebook on Facebook itself. Or you can use the multitude of scheduling softwares that are out there. I use later.com, but there are so...
Just ignore it, it'll go off in a minute.
Okay. There's Buffer, there's Hootsuite, there's loads. You can even... I haven't tried it, but you can even post direct from Canva now, which is a new one. With Later, if you pay for the paid one, you can schedule your stories as well. I don't know anyone else where you can schedule stories, but you can on that one if you have the paid one. If you don't schedule your stories, then you have to do it yourself off your phone. So what I usually do is, if I've created my stories, if I've created some, they're not just photos or selfies or whatever, and I've created the posts, I will save them to my Google Drive. Well, I'll download them to my computer, I'll upload them to my Google Drive, and then when I want to post it, I can just get on my phone, go on my Google Drive on my phone, download that image to my phone, and I can just post it straight as my story to Instagram. If you want to post it to your story on Facebook as well, if you do that on your personal profile, depending what it is, but mainly Instagram for your stories. And you can do stories on LinkedIn now as well if you use LinkedIn. And they're getting a good reach on LinkedIn, because everyone's saying is LinkedIn now is like the Facebook of 10 years ago. You can reach lots of people. So the stories are pretty new. People who go on LinkedIn and they don't go on Instagram and Facebook, they're like, oh, what are stories? I don't know how to use them. So it is good for finding people. So you want to get all your posts scheduled in for the week. I wouldn't worry about posting on both platforms at the same time, depending what software you're using. For later, you can post at the same time, or you can just move them around and switch the time up, maybe put them an hour apart or something. Some people will only ever find you on Facebook. Some people will only ever find you on Instagram. Some people will find you on both, but it doesn't matter. Will they really remember that an hour ago they saw you post on Facebook? Highly unlikely. So, and if they do, it's just reinforcing your presence. They'll go, oh yeah, them again. Just keeping them in their mind. So don't worry about posting same thing on different platforms at the same time. People just don't remember. There's too much going on. Okay, some tips. Try and spend 10 minutes every day on each platform commenting on other people, especially on Instagram. If you want to grow your Instagram, spend 10 minutes following other people. Now, if you're you want to be following people, like for you two specifically, your business to customer. If you're business to business, I would say go follow other businesses that do things like you. You want to keep it close. People who where your audience are hanging out. For you, I would go follow influencers in your area. Bigger companies that do similar things to you, the same things where your audience. Who are your audience following on Instagram? You want to go follow them too. So you need to do a little bit of research and find out what they're doing. Go on the hashtag scraper, find out loads of different hashtags that's all related to your topic, and go search the hashtags in Instagram and then you will find different people related that you can go and follow. Then you want to start commenting and following on other people. And the reason you do that is more people will see your profile if you comment. And then the more you do that, the more you will get, when you're on Instagram and it'll say, you just followed these people like these that you might like, or something that says something like that. And you can swipe along different people, can't you? That's how you will get found more, the more you do that. The more you do that, the more people will like your posts. The more people who like and comment on your post. And if somebody likes and comments on your post, always reply to them, because then other people will see it. And also another tip is that you could create, if you had one of your topics, if you had something where there was a lot of questions or a lot of things that you could turn into maybe a multiple image post. So one post that you could maybe turn into 4 images that they could scroll through on Instagram. Have you seen those? When you scroll in posts where somebody's posted maybe 5 pictures, it might say something like 5 top tips how to look good in the morning, or I don't know. And then they might have tip number 1, scroll, tip number 2, scroll, tip number 3. The reason is, even if somebody doesn't like your post, if they scroll that post, it signifies to Instagram that your post is interesting and it's getting engagement. So Instagram will show it to more people because you've engaged somebody. So that's why scrolling posts on Instagram is good. Influencers, I said about following the influencers in your niche. So that's all on Instagram. Facebook, go and join all the different groups that are associated with what you do and where your audience are. So not different aromatherapy people, So for example, businesses, where do your customers go and hang out in groups? You want to go to those groups and you want to join them. You want to comment in them and get more people that way. You want to make sure your Facebook profile has got links to your business profile or anything else where it's people. So if people look you up, they can easily find your business with just one click. They can go, oh yeah, I can look at that. So make it easy for people. Oh, we're running out of time. On Instagram, you can only have one URL in your business profile. If you want to send people to more than one destination, you need like a link tree. Have you ever heard of a link tree? No, what it is I've made my own like link tree, but basically it's a one page where you can link. It's like a bridge. Think of it as a bridge. It's a bridging page where when they click that one URL, they get taken to a page which will have maybe 5 different buttons on it. It might say visit our blog here, download my 5 top tips here, join my Facebook group here, check out my latest offers here. You could put all your links on this one link tree page, but on your profile you've only got the one URL. So when you're posting on your Instagram, for example, and you put link in bio, because you can't have a link in a post in Instagram, you can only put your comments, you can't link to anything, so that they can only click that one link in your bio. Link in bio, they click that link, they'll be shown 5 different buttons and they'll go, oh yeah, that's the one I want, and then they can click it. You haven't got to keep updating that URL every time you want to send them somewhere else every week. So you just update the link tree. I think you can have a free page on Linktree where you can click people. Facebook's not a problem because you can post links in your posts quite easily. Okay, so recap. How to create the content strategy with the content buckets. How you can plan by rotating every week to a different bucket. And then how to create and schedule them in a software so you haven't got to worry about what you're posting every day. And that's it. Oh, it's bang on 1:30. So how was that?
I think that's probably one of the most useful for me yet.
Oh, good. Awesome. Jane?
Yeah, loads and loads of information. I love the, can't remember what it's called, the Trello.
All right, yeah.
I will loads and loads of post-it notes. I've got them stuck all over my computer at home.
I use the computer version. They just stuck on the screen.
I will I'll email you the link where you'll get you create copy of that board, and then you can create your own board from the copy. Then I'll give you instructions on the email so you can get that.
Brilliant.
Okay,
thank you, Polly. That was day. Brilliant. We shall speak to you both soon.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.